This is your Solana Daily Debrief. It's the 16th of July. We've got plenty of exciting news, specifically with Sanctum and Holdium. We'll cover those shortly. Firstly though, having a quick look at the prices, we see a little bit of green. How long this lasts for, we don't know, but let's go on to the next tweet. So Same Pump says we tagged the golden zone of the entire movement down on this short squeeze. Let's see how the market consolidates now. So he doesn't have a thesis, and I haven't seen anyone with a strong thesis thinking we just rocket on up. Of course, it's possible. But one reason why this is such a big move is because it liquidated quite a few short positions. So you've got cascading liquidations, which I'm more kind of familiar with when the price tanks and it just drops significantly. However, I guess you could have cascading liquidations in the opposite direction, of course. Either way, that's kind of the movement's somewhat done now. We have to see what happens. Now, Benjamin Cohen says if we've found resistance at 64K and this move remains constructive, then the big test will come potentially on a back test of 60K, similar to May. So in other words, we may come down here. If we stay in this range, then it could build up and pop. But we'll have to see how it all goes. One thing that's very important is if we start to see like a whole lot of Bitcoin get moved to an exchange, then quite often we think that's bearish because it's going to be sold. But as per this post here by CryptoQuant, in the past, during such periods, Bitcoin deposits to futures exchanges increased and the price actually rose. So maybe when we're seeing more move, we can still actually see a bump up. Just in case you start to think that whales are going to take profit, maybe. But in the past, still, we've seen prices move up. Of course, the bearish nature is the fact that there's a lot of Mt. Gox Bitcoin on the move, 91,000. However, this has been broken down by Alex. Basically, 20K going to credit funds, 10K to New Zealand exchange, and 65K going to individual creditors. So some assumptions, maybe 30% of 85K actually gets sold. That amount is still massive, but apparently he thinks the market can absorb it. Now the Fear and Greed Index, we haven't really talked about much, but basically when it goes really, really low, everyone's very fearful. When it goes very, very high, then people are too greedy, and then we're due for some sort of correction. So when this Fear and Greed Index is quite low, that is a good time to be putting in your dollar cost averages, maybe with a little bit more veracity, not financial advice, of course, because then a change in scenes, and then all of a sudden we're up. And then the Fear and Greed Index is now 52. And of course, the price rose. Bitcoin has had a massive swing. So it was a loss, and now it's at a gain for this month. And in terms of comparing to other cycles, this is a very good thing here. Another one from Benjamin Cohen. The return on investment from low shows BTC is right around where it normally is at this point in the cycle. So this is going just a number of days, I guess, since the market bottom. And well, we're going to be this pink line here. And obviously we're going to go quite a bit higher, of course. But right now we are just here as per normal, just normal part of a cycle. One thing to note, of course, with each market cycle, the actual returns you get from Bitcoin at least are less, right? So in these first ones, I don't know what it was, but let's say it's like 50x. Well, now, at least from this point, maybe maximum of 3x. On the Tron network, which is nobody's favorite network, but nevertheless, $1 billion worth of Tether has just been minted. When you see big inflows of this means that there's going to be buying power. And right now, the whole narrative around Bitcoin has just changed. It's changed, of course, with the assassination attempt, which you see enough of on Twitter, so we'll avoid that. But basically, Trump says he'll never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. He understands Bitcoin accurately. Apparently, based on what? I don't really know. But either way, he is far more aligned, I think. And I don't want to get into politics, but like taking the words as the words are said, he's far more aligned than, pretty much all world leaders, excluding the president of El Salvador. Also, the vice president, JD Vance, he holds he has disclosed holdings of up to $250,000 worth of Bitcoin. So he's also understanding Bitcoin. And this is a little bit out of context, so I don't really want to quote it too much, but basically somehow there's some alignment with the idea that the US actually has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Other money makers, CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, says he's a major believer in Bitcoin after studying it. This is very, very new. This was not around last cycle. And if you really understand how big of a deal this is massive. I know that with each cycle, the diminishing returns happen. There's diminishing returns. This one's been very, very crazy because it's just primarily meme coins, and most of them are rugs. And the only one that's really doing well, maybe people in like special chats or the actual developers and teams that are launching them, rugging them, launching them, rugging them. So this is quite a silly cycle for me thus far. A lot of that will change, of course, because money will flow out of these silly things, potentially. Who knows? And then with Bitcoin being so exciting now, but it's so boring, really. I mean, it has a lot of value, but it's such a boring thing. There's no smart contracts. You know, they've built out other things like runes and ordinals, but they're really hard to use. And then we're starting to see these bigger players really interested. This will lift the market. I think this next 12 to 18 months will absolutely blow faces off your head. Don't know if that's a saying, but we'll go with it. Michael Dell, also very bullish on Bitcoin, as you know. And South Korea, ruling party proposes to delay the Bitcoin and crypto gains tax, which is good for at least one more cycle, hopefully. Now on to Solana news. Dialect is shipping a whole lot of stuff. It's been 2 weeks since they launched Solana Actions and blockchain links. Engagement has exploded. Hundreds of devs building blinks on X. And now there's an SDK that's come out. So you can do it X, Twitch, LinkedIn, which is strange. Maybe a lot of people are on LinkedIn and I just didn't realize it. Discord, Reddit, and then probably within Phantom and other wallets themselves. Now, probably the most important news this week is the Cloud launch. The Cloud token, I think long-term very bullish on, and I think what they're producing with, Sanctum is amazing. Like, they really do have skills. And look, I would watch this if I could. I mean, I'll be watching it, but if I was you, I would watch this. So this is 1:30 p.m. UTC today. This is like the Jup planetary call, but it's just been changed the time and changed the date in order to align with Singapore and whatnot. And this is on Jupiter, Twitter, and on YouTube. FB Lee, Soju, Cash, and they're going to go all over the Sanctum LFG launch. This is the Cloud launch survival guide as well. All the links will be below. It's done in Eastern Standard Time, which, just as a reminder, you should use UTC and you can add other time zones if you like. This is silly. Nevertheless, fine. Check your airdrop allocation. This will be going live apparently after the call or maybe halfway through the call. We'll have to see. Then the Alpha Vault opens for deposits. I will be putting in probably $1,000 into the Alpha Vault. It depends on my allocation. If I already have a decent allocation, maybe because of earnestness, then I won't. With the Alpha Vault, I've already covered this many times, but I will do a tutorial with a quick turnaround. But I'll put that up on the Jupiter channel so you can go and watch that. But I'll link to it tomorrow. Or you can just follow them and you should hopefully see it maybe tonight. Cloud goes live. This is on Thursday, 18th. Claim your airdrop and start trading Cloud. One major thing which is crazy is you are getting very cheap tokens in the vault. Now this will oversubscribe, like properly oversubscribe. It won't oversubscribe like Sendcoin, but it will be, 1,000, 10,000% probably oversubscribed. These tokens, however, they vest over 6 months. So you can just claim a little bit. I don't know what the kind of initial kind of period is. Maybe after a week or after a couple of days, you can claim a few and claim a few and claim a few. And if you're Sanctum curious, then, don't worry about jumping into the vault. Just buy some, trade some, LP some, do whatever you want. However, if you're long-term aligned, go with it. You can check out the curve here. We will go over it maybe in tomorrow's video, but basically, or maybe in the Jupiter video that I'll put out later tonight. The maximum price vault buyers will pay is 15 cents, and it starts at this price. Just keep in mind that the actual amount of money that you would actually put in at that price is tiny, right? So in order to get it from here to 7 cents, that's 380,000. So I don't know how much is actually from here to say 1 cent, but it's probably like 10,000, 30,000. It'll be something really small. And when you're actually putting in the money into the curve, you're actually just buying the average price. Regardless, I'm bullish for this. This is a very good thing. And this dynamic airdrop makes a lot of sense. So if you're long-term aligned, you can wait to claim your airdrop. The longer you wait, the more Cloud you get, maxing out at a 100% bonus. And this is not vesting. So it's literally, if you decide to claim on day 2, maybe you get 5,000 tokens. And if you wait 14 days, then maybe you get 105,000 tokens. I'm not sure how it works exactly until we see it. And with earnestness, this is waiting 180 days. 180 days, that is massive. That is quite crazy. This is where I don't completely agree. It's like these people here, I don't even know if I'm getting earnestness. We'll see. These people here have been putting in the effort to really rally people, but capital is treated so much nicer. However, I don't mind. I get a lot of comments just with different opinions, and the thing is, no one's going to be perfect. Perfection is completely impossible, and this is way better than everything else before it. So I'm okay with that. And it's essentially, it's free money, right? You've gone to an airdrop, and when I've studied like really good airdrop farmers, they basically say that you go into a protocol, you're lucky if you make 20% because they're just over farmed. So if you're not in it for the long run, then sell your airdrop right away. Anyway, that's that. We'll cover more over the next few days. This is where I start to get really excited about Sanctum. Is they're not just going with an LSD. Here, you can spin up another LSD. Great, get your community involved. And as I mentioned, like Validate.com, we do want an LST. We didn't initially, but HFP, the owner, he decided, no, this definitely has product market fit. It just requires more of an explainer. So what they want to do is they want to go with a launchpad, which is great because we're early in this market and launchpads were very, very popular last cycle with Radium, and there were a couple others, and it was just, they weren't rugs, but like rubbish projects after rubbish projects. Right now, there's not even the demand to really do like an LFG launch, like a lot of LFG launches. And if you don't make it to the LFG launch, you still want to launch. So if you could have like a second tier launchpad, that would be good, and that would certainly bring in a decent amount of revenue. Sanctum Profiles V2, have to see how this goes. It's interesting, but not crazy interesting. I do like this aspect though. And Sanctum Pay, this is where this is really cool. So they're working with Based App to build the first LSD powered debit card. Never need to off ramp again. Just hold card sol. The staking yields will be converted to USDC, which can then be spent directly via the debit card, and you can pay for anything without ever touching your sol bags. That is cool. As for the timeline, coming soon by the end of the year. So I'll give these guys a follow, and hopefully we see this by the end of the year. Backpack Exchange will be listing Cloud on launch, and also Bybit. Next bit of news, Camino Finance, 7% on Sol lending. It's very, very high. Basically, if you want to borrow USDC, it's probably a good idea to go and put some Sol into Camino and borrow against it. Making sure there's plenty of safety there. You don't want to be anywhere near liquidation. But at least if you do it like this, it should be, in the long term, like you shouldn't be out of any money because Sol price will appreciate. You'll borrow your USDC. You're going to have more of a USDC debt, maybe at like 15% or something. But your supplier APY means your Sol bag keeps on growing. So this will be good. It won't stay high forever though. Lulo, one of my favorite apps. I did a tutorial on this. It's called FlexLend back then. So just find that. I should probably make sure the title says Lulo somewhere, and but go and watch that there. And if you put in PYUSD into this, which is via Camino, several times per hour, it will claim the rewards because there's a different pool you have to claim, and then it adds it and compounds it. So if you've got like $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, this will probably be growing at another 1 to 2% APY just by having it auto claimed. Trader Cos and Bonk, the target is clear for Bonk. Bam. That's what Trader Cos says. It's held up well. Like obviously everything's gone down, but it's held up well. Also Bonkers, the first reward distribution for Bonk and the Manta Network dual citizenship is now live. If you locked 1 million Bonk before July 11th, then you can claim the rewards here. You need to use like MetaMask, and you need to add the Manta Network like RPC settings, and you need to have ETH on the Manta Network. So maybe I can show you that tomorrow if it's not too long, or I'll make a separate video. Holdium news, chapter 2, considering the amount of token holders, they need a little bit more time to work this out. I believe they actually did sort it out though. There was a whole lot of Holdium that got airdropped to 71,000 wallets, and each Solana Mobile Chapter 2 pre-order token will receive 354 HM. This allocation is not vested, and of course, if you went and bought after July 12th, then you wouldn't be actually getting any HM. So I do hope that people grabbed a Solana Mobile Chapter 2 pre-order. I have a link below if you want to grab a Solana Mobile Chapter 2 pre-order. I've already got one, and I've already got 2. Now here is the guide. Long story short, do not move your HM. If you move it and you plan on holding it, then you will forego the rest of your airdrop. Thus far, you've got 10%, so there's another 90% to come, and that will be coming to you over the next 18 months. You can, in the same wallet, go and LP some in the Sol and HM vault, or not vault, but like liquidity pool on Radium only. I wish they also had a Meteor vault, so if anyone from the team can ping me, I would tell you why the benefits of that should happen. but thus far they haven't done it. Personally, with my HM, it's just going to sit in the wallet. I'm not going to move it under any circumstances. Bonfeeder, next bit of news, they have gone renamed to SNS, Solana Name Service, which is great because Bonfeeder just doesn't work as a name. And if you're part of the Barrows or if you have an orphan, they give back a lot of bonk to the holders. So be active in this Discord. I am not as active as I want to be, and that's why I miss some things. Claynos introducing the spray can artifact. I have no idea about this, but this just looks cool. And so I just decided I will just show it to you because it's cool. Popcat meme coin has been doing very well. So if you've got some Popcat, not financial advice, but if you're up multiples, you may want to take some profits. And in general, meme coins have just gone a little bit crazy. Mitchie, I saw that Ansem got into this the other day, so I went and bought some. However, I set a limit order automatically at like doubling and then tripling. So if I'm up 40%, it still needs to go up further before I will take profits. I could be being a little bit greedy at going for like a double. I could, of course, set it for lower. And dePioneers. So dePioneers, I spoke about this the other day, and basically I did a dedicated video on it. Plenty of people went and pre-ordered this because of what I said, which is never going to be financial advice, but like I do pride myself on doing decent research. And when I go and speak to teams and I get all the information and I ask all the hard questions and I push home the point because I am quite direct, I do decent research. So when this went and it came out and it just came out a little bit confusing. The circulation numbers were lower, etc., etc., etc. I looked in Discord, I pinged the team, I didn't get an answer. Discord didn't give me good information. I came out and I said what I said the other day, which is my first view is some of the art's okay, some of the art is not. Like, that's just not nice. Then the mint ending on the July 17th, confusing. And the fact that, like, why would you mint now at 3 Sol when you can go and buy it for, you can go and buy one for like 1.8 Sol on Tensor. However, I've since spoken to Tufan for like an hour, asked all the questions, and they're going to try and make some changes. Exactly when, I'm unsure. So all I'm saying for now, as far as I'm aware, what I've been told, this mint, it's not going to end anymore on the July 17th from what I was told. Instead, it's going to change, like it's going to be pushed out maybe a couple more weeks, enough time so that I can do like a decent update video. And then this is for the pre-orders. So or pre-buys, when you put in 1 Sol, you can go and mint the other one. Now, I'm still minting all of mine. The reason why I am is because I've already put in the 1 Sol. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with taking calculated risks. And I do think the deepen narrative will do well. Where I have issue is the fact the timeline was supposed to be, you do some pre-buys, you then work out which tokens you're going to go for, you're going to announce that, and then you go ahead and launch the actual minting campaign. But instead, we don't know if it's going to have like render, helium, or whatever relatively, cool or not cool tokens. So as an example, if it has a token that's not, looking too good technically, or if the team's not shipping as much or whatever, or if it's just to help them out or have a bit of a gamble, then I don't really think that's that great unless it's a very small portion and you want to go, you don't want to help out another team. You want to take a gamble on them. You want upside because the goal here is your 3 Sol should outperform the price of Sol. That's my personal goal. And that's very easy to do, but this is just done in a way that can also bring about a group of people that are really, really keen on deepen. So for now, all I'm saying is just, if you want to, mint it. I'll be minting all mine. I'll be paying and I'll be minting all of them. But give me a little bit more time so I can get more information from the team, give them some feedback on their messaging, and then go from there. So at this stage, I still remain bullish on it. The thing is with DAOs, if they just let the DAO decide which tokens immediately, that doesn't generally work unless you've got a couple of really key invested people in the DAO, or unless they are funded so that they're putting in a lot of their attention into that. So you kind of need a team to start it, and then DAO kind of take over some things. That's just how DAOs work. So your actionables, complete at least 1 swap in Solflare wallet every day to the 7th of June. Cloud liftoff call, 1:30 PM UTC. Read the Sanctum's cloud launch survival guide. Claim your rewards from bonk.manta.network if you know how to get ETH onto Manta. Watch my master meme coin trading video. Also, how to set up limit orders with Jupiter. Watch that video. Airdrop actionables, 30k points on D-Bridge. Address rate of finance. Stake your bonk. Earn some points at Cube Exchange, of course. And use Market Clone to buy some Pepe. Some tokens you might be keen on without actually having to leave the comfort of Solana. Finally, beast.flash.trade if you want to get amongst trading. That's all for today. If you liked it, like it. If you loved it, subscribe. Catch you in the next video.